Welcome to the very first edition of Granny Metalhead TV. Thanks for stopping by. It's also the very first edition of Granny's Rock Monsters. Now, I'm not going to be dragging any ornaments out. We're just going to be sitting here checking out heavy metal, metal music, hard rock, whatever you want to call it. Because I want people to see that there's more to metal than just loud. Nothing wrong with loud. I love loud, as my voice will testify. I love loud. But, sometimes um, you'll find the most deep and meaningful lyrics in metal. And a lot of people don't know that. I mean, sure, yeah, there's a lot of, F everything, let's just have a good times, songs that are just hella good. But a lot of them talk about real issues that affect us all. Plus, there's also more to the music itself than just distortion and reverb, and it can almost be classical in its composition. So tonight we're checking out Black Sabbath War Pigs. Now, I debated about which band we should start with. Should I go with my favorite band, Metallica, maybe something from the Black album to ease you into metal, or go straight for the jugular and just begin at the beginning, Black Sabbath. Now, since there wouldn't be any black or heavy metal without Black Sabbath, I decided to go with them. And so now it was, well, what song to go with? Do I want to start with something easy and accessible like Sweet Leaf or Paranoid? And in the end, I decided, hell with it. I'm just going to go with War Pigs. It was the first Black Sabbath song that I knew that was a Black Sabbath song. I mean, I had heard a Black Sabbath song before, only I didn't know it was their song until like years later. And we'll cover that song in a future show, so you don't want to miss it. Now, I think if you go into a song like this with an idea about what it's about, the lyrics and stuff, you'll be really blown away. So War Pigs is off their second album, Paranoid, and it came out 51 years ago in 1970. Now, think about this for a minute before you just nod your head and move on. I'm a grandma, all right? And this song came out when I was 2 years old. And that means this is music depending on your age, your parents, your grandparents, or maybe some of your great grandparents were listening to. I mean, this is timeless, the very definition of a classic. Now, interestingly enough, this song was included on a do not play list of 165 songs that Clear Channel, which is now iHeartRadio Media, and other media corporations compiled in response to the 9/11 attacks. And so while it didn't ban the songs, it was suggested that it would be best if these songs weren't played. So back in 1970, let's go back there. The Tet Offensive in Vietnam had happened 2 years ago, and anti-war sentiment had just kept getting larger and larger. Now, the difference between the Vietnam War and the one we're in today is that there was a draft board. So if the draft board drew your number, off you went, either to Vietnam, or if you refused to go fight, to Canada, or maybe even to jail for draft dodging. So a lot of rock bands are anti-war, but guys, people in the military are huge fans of metal, or, at least they used to be, because, there's a difference between being anti-war and being anti-soldier. The war pigs in this song are the politicians and the military industrial complex in DC. And this is also smack dab in the middle of the Cold War. And Khrushchev, the premier of Russia, and Kennedy had come this close to blowing the whole world to ashes in a nuclear holocaust 8 years before. And relations between the U.S. and the USSR, as Russia was known back then, were still bad, very tense. And at the start, you can hear the air raid siren, and that kind of sets the stage for the song because see that sound back in the day was frankly terrifying because it could be one of the last things that you'd ever hear before being obliterated by a nuclear missile. Now, MAD, which stands for Mutually Assured Destruction, was a policy that meant if the Russians fired a nuke at us, we'd fire ours back, and vice versa. So supporters of MAD thought that nuclear war could be prevented if neither side could be expected to survive a full scale nuclear exchange as a functioning state. And really, the policy hadn't changed. That's pretty much still where we are in the whole nuke thing. So that's something to think about. Now, to me, this song has three parts. The first part, it sounds like a build up to war, and then around 2 minute mark, the music intensifies and it starts to sound, more like a war. And then the last part, starting around the 4 minute 28 mark, the war's over and the judgment comes. And then the last few seconds of the song, everything speeds up really, really fast and then just stops. And to me, that's always sounded like the final seconds either before the universe winking out of existence or the final seconds before the impact of a nuke. Now, I lean towards the first one, the universe winking out of existence, because in the last verse, God's final judgment has already come to pass. And, that's what I think. Maybe you might think it's a little something, mean something else. Let me know below what you think.
Lady, you are about a half a bubble off the plum, and that's for sure and for certain.
So, all right, guys, feel it. Don't fight it. Buckle up tight, and let's do this thing. Here's Black Sabbath, War Pigs.
Gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning, death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah. darkness world stops turning, ashes where their bodies burning. No more war pigs have the power, and as God has struck the hour, day of judgment God is calling. On the knees the war pigs crawling, begging mercies for the sins. Satan laughing spreads his wings. Oh Lord, yeah.
All right, guys, that's what I grew up listening to. Not an auto-tune in sight. And man, if you're not blown away by that, dig the wax out of your ears and grow a tongue so you'll have some taste. That shit was hella fire. Now, love it or love it or hate it, let me know below. I mean, did you feel that? I mean, just the chills going up your back? I don't know, maybe it was just me. But let me know below. Now, I actually did see them live back in 2001 at Ozfest, and they did perform this song. And really, considering their age and everything, it was fucking amazing. You don't even know. It was awesome. So let me know below if you ever saw them live. Also, let me know where you were when you first heard this song. Maybe this was your first time. I mean, I don't know. Or if it has any special meaning to you, I'd love to hear about that. So let me know below. And there's a link for everything below. So, give them some love and give this song the rule of 3. Listen to it 2 more times, with an open mind and see how it hits you. Sometimes, I'll give it a couple more listens. And if it's not working for you, put it aside, come back to it sometime down the road. You might find it speaks to you later on in life. Now, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I have, and if so, please like and subscribe and hit that bell for all so you don't miss anything. And, share this show with others so that they can learn about the music too. And, it costs you nothing. It helps me out a lot with YouTube. And, if there's something that you'd like to see, let me know below. Thanks again for stopping by. Love to my husband, Aaron, and love to all of you granny maniacs out there. Granny Metalhead is out.
This segment is now over. I'm sure you're all pleased to hear that. If you line up in the foyer later, we'll try and get you all a glass of Kiora and possibly a sweet or two, all right? But don't bank on it because we're fucking mean around it.